homemade fresh pasta. That sound good? Homemade fresh pasta that you're gonna absolutely love. Is that good?
Yeah.
No. Today I'm going to show you how to make fresh pasta in your kitchen. This homemade pasta is going to be fabulous. I think that was too much disco hands, do you?
I think so.
No fail pasta. Yes, today I'm going to show you how to make fresh pasta in your home that I guarantee is going to be the best fresh pasta you've ever made. When you want to make fresh pasta at home, it's one of those recipes where a lot of people are scared of. It's simple, effortless, and I've been to Italy many times and I've learned how to make it, but I want to go into the nitty-gritty of where you may fail in making a homemade pasta at home. I'm going to take some flour and I'm going to add it, oh no, sausages, I forgot my blade. Just add in the flour, Dario, okay? So the flour's in there. Now when it comes to the eggs, because we think about the ratio, we're going to actually do a higher fat content, and the reason why I'm doing a higher fat content pasta, homemade pasta, is I think it's more forgiving, but it's richer and it doesn't pull back as much, because a lot of the times when you see pasta, a lot of it will dry out and you can't roll it by hand. I have a pasta roller, we can certainly show you that I've got it. Ding! However, I want to show you to do it by hand, because that way you're not going to say, oh, I haven't got that fancy machine. The egg whites freeze really well, so if you're not making something like a, say for instance, an omelette, or you're not making a meringue or something like that, or an egg white, white cake, but they do freeze, so don't throw them away. We've got to stop food waste, and especially, around the world, it's really important. So we're doing 6 egg yolks. That's going to have a lot of fat, make the dough really rich and just gorgeous. When you have this, it's going to be beautiful. And then we're going to use 2 eggs, just cracking it into the actual bowl itself. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. So what does the olive oil do? That'll give it a nice elasticity. Turn it on, you ready? Turning this on, mate. Can you see the side? Watch it come together. Now I do want to say that no pasta's ever going to be the same, because eggs, when you buy an egg, it could be a slightly different weight. Every egg, obviously, is going to be a different weight. And pasta, say for instance, if it's in a humid environment, it's going to be, flour. If flour's in a humid environment, it's going to absorb more moisture, whereas if it's in a dry environment, so you might have to change it slightly. And then we're going to come over to the table. So it comes out and you can see that it's not together, but just take a look at that consistency, Dario. Can you see that? It's got this lovely consistency. So what I'm going to do is a tiny bit of flour, just a small amount on my hands. A lot of folks, what they have a tendency to do here, Dario, is they want to add more flour, and that's a mistake, because the more flour you add to this, it's going to dry up. So I'm just going to bring a bench scraper. A bench scraper is inexpensive and it's one of our best friends in the kitchen. Now watch what I do. I'm going to knead it, and I'm just going to fold it and turn it and fold it and turn it. If you find it sticking to your hands, just go like this and just put a tiny bit of flour on your hands. But please, at this stage, don't add some. And I know when I was first learning, that was something that I did. I used to add too much, and then it would dry the pasta out, and you don't want that, because we're looking for a pasta that is nice and rich. All I'm doing is just folding it over, and I'm just kneading it for about a minute, something like that. So, and this makes about 1 pound of pasta that's going to serve about 4 to 6 people. One of the keys to this now is letting this rest. It's something that a lot of folks don't do. We want to let this rest for about 4 hours. You can make it the night before, but we're just going to wrap this now in some plastic wrap. Take some plastic wrap, making sure we don't want it to oxidize, just making sure it's wrapped. I'm going to take this, and what I'm going to do is place this right here, Dario. Placing it there, and we're going to let this rest. After it's been resting for about 4 hours, we can roll it out. So I'm just going to undo it out the plastic wrap. And it's going to be really sticky now. You know, when you look at it, it's going to be, you know, quite sticky, and I'd rather have it being a little bit sticky than it would be dry. So I'm just bringing it out. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of flour and put it onto the surface, because that is, and just dust it a little bit, not too much, but enough where we know it's not going to stick. So now we've got the flour on there, and then we're just going to put a little bit of flour on top. What I'd say to someone when you're first starting out making pasta, you don't really want to be rolling out a pound of pasta until you're used to doing it. Why make that, you know, why make it so hard? So what I always say is maybe chop it into quarters for yourself, just to get used to rolling that out. So I've got a roller, and just a regular roller, and if you've got a pasta roller at home, feel free, and just being careful not to, you just want to watch it, because you remember we use quite a lot of egg yolks in here, and we used oil. I'm not putting too much flour on, I'm just using just enough to not make it dry out too much. So I can see this side's got the flour on it, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the surface and some here, and I'm going to put some on the top. And it depends on how thick you like your pasta. Normally the term what we like to do is you should be able to put a newspaper underneath it, and you should be able to read it. And I just want to show you how to cut this. You know, when we're trained in the kitchens, we'd always want to trim it up. They always train you to trim the pasta up. So we're just trimming the pasta up square to cut it. But what I would say at home, you don't actually really need to do this. I'm just showing you, because you know what's going to happen when you're doing a show on YouTube. There's always people who write here and say, well, you shouldn't have done this. You're supposed to be a chef. You're supposed to do this. And they always talk like that. Don't they? Shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have. I'll show you what I like to do. I'm just making sure it's got flour on it, because it will have a tendency to stick. And this is a combination of semolina and white flour. And the reason I'm making sure it's flour, because once we fold this, now watch what I do. I'm going to fold this, fold it. I'm going to fold it and fold it, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to work the knife and just cut it. See the way I'm cutting this? And then once you're used to cutting it, you can just start coming down. And that's how easy it is to make fresh pasta. It's pretty effortless to do. You know, once we've got it, we can just get these pieces of pasta. Once we've made it, we want to put a little bit of semolina on there to stop it from sticking together. And then when you cook fresh pasta, you're going to use 1/4 water and about 1/3 cup of salt. More salt than dried pasta. Remember, dried pasta is usually in there for a longer amount of time. With fresh pasta, it's only going to take 60 seconds. The key is, how do you get the salt into that? And that's more water, because pasta it's not got too much flavor to it. Once you add salt to it, it really is. Here's your fresh pasta lesson. Happy days. If you do make this, please feel free to share a photograph. Leave a comment below. We just made a limoncello pork ragu. I'll have Dario share that link. He'll show a little bit of it up here or something, and we'll share the link to that below. That's a really good pork ragu. And then we've got some more pasta recipes coming in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure, I guess they've told me I've got to say this, if you can, subscribe. If you enjoyed this segment and you think a friend's gonna like it, please feel free to share. Until next time, always remember, stay positive, laugh as much as you can, and it's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it. See you next time. Cheerio for now.